Hello and welcome to the Nonprofit Pod. I'm Melissa, a university business professor who loves to yap about nonprofits. And today we're going to talk about all kinds of free tools and resources that can help nonprofits save money, work more efficiently, and amplify their mission impact. Now, I've narrowed it down to 5 of what I think are the best resources out there for nonprofits that sadly many of them don't know about. So let's get right into it. First, let's talk about Canva for nonprofits. Now, I feel like most nonprofit folks do know about this one, but it surprises me sometimes when I'm chatting with colleagues or people that are in the nonprofit sector and they have no clue. So if you do anything with social media or graphic design, which every nonprofit should be doing, but unfortunately they don't have the staffing to do, so a lot of times it gets pushed on the back burner, but you should be using Canva. Canva is free for anyone, but they actually have a plan for nonprofits that gives you access to a pro account that normally costs money for free if you are an eligible nonprofit. You can go online, I'll drop the link below, and you can check to see if your agency qualifies. But let me tell you why this is a game changer. Canva really makes professional design accessible to everyone. I have rarely encountered a nonprofit agency that has a professional graphic designer on staff. Few of them even have a professional full-time marketing person who literally does just marketing. Usually it's our program people or development staff that are trying to do design or social media in addition to their main job. But with Canva, you can create beautiful graphics for social media. You can put together corporate sponsorship packages. You can put together major donor proposals, donor thank you cards, event flyers, and so much more. And it doesn't really require any design skill. And now what's cool about Canva Pro is you can actually save your logo and your fonts and your colors in what they call a branding kit to make sure that you're keeping your visuals cohesive. So you can set up a team, you can let your volunteers and other people on your staff have access to that branding kit. So if you have volunteers, for example, that are helping you with some design assets or social media posts, they have access to all that stuff to keep your look and feel consistent. Another thing that's amazing about Canva is they have time-saving templates. I am a huge fan of templates because while Canva doesn't require necessarily any design skill, I've still seen a lot of stuff from Canva that looks like some hot garbage. Now, I encourage folks, if you don't have an eye for design or you don't have a design skill, to make use of these templates. Canva, especially with the Pro version, it gives you access to hundreds of templates, some that are even tailored for nonprofits that you can search for. And this can include fundraising appeals, volunteer recruitment materials, pretty much anything you can imagine. Another great thing is if you can't find templates that fit what you're looking for, you can go out to a site like Etsy and buy them. And on my website, thenonprofitprof.com, I have an entire vault of Canva templates designed specifically for nonprofits, including starter text to get your ideas flowing of how you can use these templates for social media content. And you just update your brand and your colors, tweak the text, save, and post. Easy peasy. So getting started is simple. All you have to do is go to Canva's website, see if your nonprofit qualifies, get access to free Canva Pro, and this is an amazing resource. A really great resource for nonprofits is Google Workspace and Google Ad Grants. If you're not aware, Google has a lot of great stuff for nonprofits. They provide their Google Workspace for nonprofits at no cost, which is amazing. So you've got the entire suite of Google products in their workspace that you can access at no cost. But on top of that, Google also provides ad grants. So Google Workspace gives you free access to tools of their suite, like I mentioned. That includes Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Calendar. And you can use Gmail and Calendar to simplify your scheduling and your email management. You can set up automations to make things happen automatically without having to interact with them manually. You can do real-time collaboration. You can use Google Docs to communicate back and forth with volunteers without having to share a file on email. There's so much that you can do with this suite of Google products that is free. When it comes to Google Ad Grants, they offer up to $10,000 per month in free Google Ads credit. So this is an amazing way to promote your mission, to promote your nonprofit, to drive attendance at your events, to drive donations, to recruit volunteers, to just build awareness about your cause. And unfortunately, many nonprofits are not exactly sophisticated when it comes to marketing because a lot of them have this perception that marketing is just a waste of money that could otherwise be allocated directly toward program delivery and mission fulfillment, not seeing that long-term picture of how marketing directly relates to that and can help agencies achieve these things. When it comes to both the Google Workspace program and Google Ads, both of these require a pretty simple application process. So if you Google for nonprofits, you can find all the information about it and apply. A really great free tool for nonprofits is Calendly. I remember my days running a nonprofit. It would drive me crazy going back and forth on email with a prospective volunteer or donor that I was trying to meet with of, are you free these dates? Are you free those dates? Da, 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 da. I kick myself for never using these tools. And I think part of why I didn't is because I assumed they cost money, and I was always so reluctant to spend money, especially on things like this. But where nonprofits sometimes shoot themselves in the foot is they're so reluctant to spend money in the interest of not sacrificing money toward mission that they don't realize that by operating really inefficiently, we're costing ourselves more money than it would if we just invested in these efficiency tools. So Calendly is one of those tools that has a free basic plan, but even if you pay a little bit for the expanded plan, it could be worth it in the time that you save. So how can Calendly benefit nonprofits? Well, obviously it simplifies scheduling. When you're trying to communicate and schedule, say, a volunteer planning meeting, and you've got a bunch of people trying to coordinate schedules, or you're just trying to meet with a busy, successful corporate person for a corporate sponsorship meeting, and you can't find time that you're both available and can sync up, it saves so much time with that back and forth emailing. Another thing that's great about Calendly is it does automatically sync with most calendars, so you can avoid conflicts. You can also specify how far out to schedule a meeting. So for example, if I want to meet with a potential new volunteer, I don't want them scheduling something a month out because I don't know what that month's going to look like. You can specify with Calendly your availability and the maximum number of dates that you allow people to book out with you. Some of these things are not always available on a free account, but if you do have a paid account, it's pretty low cost, and you can also do really cool things like customize your booking page with your nonprofit's branding to give it that polished look. And another cool thing is Calendly sometimes offers special pricing for nonprofits and for educators. So if the free plan doesn't cut it, you can sometimes get a discount on the paid plan. And again, the money that you're going to save by driving efficiency, it can be well worth the cost and then some. A really fantastic resource for nonprofits that you might not know about, that sadly I had no clue about when I worked in the sector for 20 years, is called TechSoup. This can really be a nonprofit's best friend when it comes to seeking out affordable technology tools. So what TechSoup does is they try to bridge that gap between nonprofits and tech. So their goal is to connect nonprofits with discounts and free access to software, hardware, and things like training resources. And this can include tools like QuickBooks for accounting, Adobe Creative Suite for design, although Canva is a great free tool. Sometimes if you need more complex design resources, you need that Adobe Creative Suite. It's very expensive ordinarily, and Microsoft Office. They also have deals for nonprofits on hardware. So if you need laptops, tablets, or other essential tech, you can sometimes get it here for a fraction of the cost. Another great thing about TechSoup is they provide training and support for nonprofits. So you might not always know how to utilize the Adobe Creative Suite, for example, but they provide tools like webinars and tutorials that are tailored for nonprofits. So if you use TechSoup, that can kind of open the door to these big technology solutions that a lot of for-profit companies use, but without having to break your budget or try to figure it out on your own. And they also have a really cool online forum that helps nonprofits connect with other nonprofits, specifically to share ideas and help each other when it comes to everything technology related. Here are some amazing free productivity tools for nonprofits that can help you streamline your work. Grammarly. Grammarly is meant to improve your grammar and your writing. It has a basic plan that is perfect for writing polished emails, grant proposals, social media posts, donor communications, what have you. It checks your grammar, it checks your spelling, it can help you with your tone, and it can make sure that your communications are professional. And it pains me sometimes in the nonprofit sector when nonprofits operate and send out communications that are filled with typos and grammar errors, and it's just a bad look for the agency and its mission. And it doesn't have to be that way. I know nonprofits are understaffed. They don't have the time sometimes to really diligently proofread things. So Grammarly kind of takes that out of your responsibility and it helps you with that. And it's a really great tool. Now, what's cool about Grammarly is that nonprofits with 20 or fewer licenses can have access to Grammarly Business for free. Another great tool for nonprofits, if you're not using it, you should be, is ChatGPT. Using artificial intelligence can be a great way to brainstorm ideas. You can use it to draft donor emails. You can use it to come up with a streamlined, multifaceted fundraising campaign. If you're trying to come up and brainstorm ideas for an event that's catchy and salesy, it can help you with that. It's so versatile and it's kind of like an unpaid assistant for nonprofits. Nonprofits are all about projects, planning events, planning donor campaigns, planning program delivery projects. These are all projects that require management, but a lot of nonprofits don't make use of project management tools. A really great one is Asana. Asana has a free plan that is really great for coordinating a lot of things that nonprofits do, like planning events. You can assign tasks, you can set and track deadlines, and make sure that you're keeping not just your paid staff, but also your volunteers on track and accountable. Zoom. I think by now most nonprofits kind of have a handle on this one, but Zoom is great for virtual meetings. There are some limitations with the free plan in terms of how long your Zoom can be or how many participants can be in that Zoom. But for most things in the nonprofit sector, most types of meetings, it's really perfect for what they need it for, and it doesn't cost anything at that basic level. So you can use it for team check-ins, you can meet virtually with a new prospective volunteer, you can do volunteer orientation, you can do online educational sessions about your mission and cause, or whatever the case may be. Slack. Slack is a really great communication channel. So if you work at a nonprofit that doesn't have maybe the complete Microsoft suite that gives you access to Teams, and you use things like that already, you can use something like Slack. You can create channels for specific projects or teams. You can even share files, and it kind of reduces a lot of that clutter of those back and forth email chains. And these tools are generally pretty simple to learn. So they can help you not just stay connected, but it kind of helps you stay organized too. And most of these tools that I've mentioned, they either have a free introductory package or they have some type of nonprofit discount for their paid premium options that is really worth checking out. So I want to know, what kind of tech tools do you use in your nonprofit that you wish everybody knew about? I love efficiency, I love systems, I love technology, and I am embarrassed for myself not using a lot of these things when I worked in a nonprofit, and I wish I knew then what I knew now about how amazing these tools can be. If you found this information helpful and you'd like more free resources, tools, online education, and courses specifically for nonprofits, visit my website at thenonprofitprof.com.